Okay, I actually wasn't going to do a review of this movie originally. I actually just found out the day of going to it in the theater that it was being released in theaters. I am a huge fan of the Killing Joke comic book from I think the 80s. I'm not really sure when it was made, but I'm definitely a huge fan of Alan Moore's work, and especially that story. For those of you who don't know, basically the Joker has broken out of Arkham Asylum, and he's out to not just pull his regular evil schemes. This time he's actually trying to prove a point to Batman that literally anyone can go insane because of one bad day. And that one bad day has happened to the Joker, and it's explained in flashbacks and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. You should just read the graphic novel and then watch the movie if you really want to. Now, this is actually kind of the weirdest adaptation of any comic book movie I've seen, at least the animated film, because this is like the shortest graphic novel I've ever read. Seriously, it's like 30 pages. So obviously they had to stretch it out a little bit to fit at least an hour and a half. And that brings us to the Batgirl prologue. Oh god. For those of you who haven't heard, if you don't want to be spoiled and you want it to kind of be a surprise, then skip here. Batman and Batgirl have sex in this movie. And I went to go see this in the theater. And immediately when that scene happens, me and like everyone else in the theater, I just heard this giant sigh of just, ugh. Seriously, when did this turn into fanfiction.net? What the hell, Bruce Tim? Yeah, and it's just extremely weird. I don't think it'll really piss off any casual fans of Batman and Batgirl, but for hardcore fans that read the comic books and everything like me, it's really gonna piss you off. Mainly because we think of Batman as more of a mentor or a stepfather to Barbara Gordon, and to see them have sex is just really weird. Luckily though, after that, the movie actually does pick up, and all the stuff from the original Killing Joke comic book is adapted really well. Although I still do have a few gripes with it. Some of the flashback scenes should have been a little bit shorter, because it was more of just a subtle hint towards what the Joker's origin might have been, instead of just flat out telling you. Also, I wish that the ending Oracle scene didn't happen, because the ending of the Killing Joke was meant to be left to interpretation. Some people, like me, interpreted it that Batman strangled the Joker after he told that joke, and that's where the comic book ends. I never wanted this comic book to be a series or anything, so I don't know why they set it up like it's going to be a continuation. There's gonna be like a Killing Joke 2 or something like that, or a different movie that's gonna connect to it. I never wanted that to ever happen, because I just like to think of it as its own little story. You don't have to read anything up on it. You just need to know who Batman, Barbara Gordon, Jim Gordon, and the Joker are, and that's kind of it, and you just need to know their relationships to really get this comic book. My last real gripe with this movie is sometimes the animation is just kind of subpar. It just looks kind of wonky at times. And I was really expecting more out of Bruce Timm, because he did Batman the Animated Series, which is like one of the best Batman things of all time. But other than that, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as the Batman and Joker were obviously just amazing in this movie, like I was expecting. And overall, if you can just get past the first hour of this movie, then you'll definitely like it. I definitely liked it. I just personally didn't like the first hour. I feel like this could have been a lot better than it actually turned out to be, and that's why I'm gonna give it a C.